Well, I'm not sure if anybody has had this trouble because I looked all over the internet trying to see if there was an easier solution, and I didn't find one, so I figured out one for myself. I don't suggest trying this if you have no sense of electrical technology or terminology, or if you're just plain out stupid. But if you got a couple of drone batteries and one of them acts as if it just does not want to take a charge and the other one acts fine, especially I discovered this on the drone Holy Stone HS510. Well, and by the way, that's a great little drone, but one of my batteries was just not wanting to take a charge for no reason at all, and it's not even 2 weeks old. And for the past, I'd say 10 days, there's been no chance of it charging whatsoever, as much as I've tried. So first of all, what you need to do is have a decent voltmeter. Turn it to DC and distinguish which side of the good battery, or the bad one if it shows any voltage, is positive and which one is negative. Now on these particular batteries, if I can hold this phone and do this at the same time, well, let's say it like this. These 5 terminals right here, these 2 will show voltage, but it only charges off of these 3 in the middle. If you look at your charger, you can tell. And anyway, well, what I discovered was that looking at the battery with the contacts facing towards the right and the writing upside down on it, this side here is positive, that's positive, that's negative, that's negative, and I think that is a signal wire, but it still shows up as negative. I took this battery apart to see if maybe something had come loose on the inside, but nothing was loose, and I've got voltage coming through all of it, but it's only half the amount that I needed. It was only showing like 4 volts when it should be showing closer to 8. The battery says 7.6, but technically, as you can see, that's the voltage on the 2 outside terminals. And you'll get the same thing if you go between the 2 inside ones, but I have to set the phone down for that, so just trust me. But what I did was I took the good battery that was completely charged, and I took 3 even pieces of metal. Now, like I said, you can burn some shit up, catch some shit on fire, or basically just screw up your damn batteries if you have no concept of what you're doing. Take your time. Don't skip steps. Do it how I'm telling you, and you should be okay. But what you need to do, first of all, take 1 even piece of metal, put it in the very middle contact, just like that. Take another one, put it in the one right next to it, just like that. Make sure they do not touch. Although they're both grounds, trust me, for some reason it will kick off a little fire through there. Already figured that one out. Then the one that you're going to be going straight to your hot, which would be the middle terminal to the right one. Basically, these 2 here will show positive, but I went between the one closest to the very middle, closest to the top of the writing if the battery's upside down. Hopefully y'all follow me on that. But this one here, you see I've got tape all the way up to the very ends except for just the very tip of it. You take your other battery, set it just like this. Actually, I had the battery apart, but what you're going to do, you're going to set it on there just like this here. Get these 2 in there first. Had to set the phone down for a minute so I could double check before I tell y'all something wrong. But you want to set them just like that, barely in there. Carefully, very carefully, slip this one down. Make sure it don't touch nothing. This is hard to do while holding this phone. So, hold on. I'm going to pause it. I'm going to show you what it looks like after I've already set it on there. I'll be right back. Okay, here we go again. Way I just did it, which I wish I'd have figured this out the first time. It would have been a little easier. But I put the first two in that y'all seen originally. This one on the outside and the one in the very middle. Had them coming down this way. Alright. I took this one that I got the tape on, which is the one that goes directly from the hot. If you open these batteries up, you'll see there is a red wire, a blue wire in the middle, and a black wire. Of course, the black wire is ground. The red wire is going to be a hot. But that blue wire, I think, is the signal wire. That's what triggers the battery basically to even charge in the charger. But I took this one that I got the tape on, the one that's the hot, and I actually laid it in the hot terminal on this battery, slightly pivoted it up, scooted them together, dropped it in place, and pushed it down with my finger. What that's doing is that's allowing basically the good battery that's completely charged to fool the bad battery, or the battery that's not wanting to take a charge, because what more than likely happens is when the battery gets down too low, especially with lithium batteries, they have that little BMS or BPS or whatever the hell that thing is in there that basically allows it to accept a charge, or not allow it to overcharge itself, or undercharge, or discharge too fast, or whatever. Well, what you're doing is you're making this battery, trick this battery into accepting the same amount of voltage that's in this one. And what it'll do is they will even each other out. Basically, you'll get the battery from one, the battery will share the voltage with the other one, and they will equalize each other out, and they'll have the same exact voltage if you leave them in there long enough. But all you're trying to do is basically get this battery up to about 6 or 7 volts, enough to where you can put it in the charger and the light won't be flashing real fast. It'll just blink like it's supposed to be, because it's now accepting a charge. Because before I only had 8 volts, or excuse me, 4.13 volts coming in that battery, and that was not enough to make that charger charge it. Basically, it just was saying, bad battery, you're not going to have it no more. So, with that being said, you try this at your own risk. Good luck. Oh, and by the way, I'm pretty sure if you do this, it will void your warranty. Especially if you take the battery apart, it will void your warranty. I did it just because I didn't really give a shit. I figured it was either going to be something wrong inside the battery, or something that I could fix inside the battery. So it basically was just didn't have enough voltage for the charger to realize it was a good battery. Just needed a little extra kick in the ass. So I give it the extra kick in the ass off the other battery. Anyway, good luck.